Hi, welcome to Her DIY Dream Home. This is Liz, and this is episode 5 of my RV makeover. Today's episode, we're going to start focusing on the kitchenette and dining room area. The plan is to start prepping all of the wood for painting. This involves doing a light sand with some 80 grit sandpaper and then wiping everything down with some TSP cleaner. This is a cleaner that's a preparation cleaner for painting. After that's all done, I'm going to go ahead and paint on the first layer of primer. It's a gripper primer, so it's designed to actually grip onto this wood. After that, I'm going to start tackling just the painting. My plan is to paint the upper cabinets white and the lower cabinets a dark blue color to kind of add contrast and a little color here in the RV. I'm going to do the same thing with the kitchenette. The cabinet, the bases, they're going to get painted white. Luckily, the countertops were not bad in condition or color, so I'm just going to leave those how they were. So let's get started. before I can start painting, I have to prep this area here. When doing the demolition, this paneling here kind of stuck down and was kind of ugly, and also had a lot of holes and stuff in it for wiring and switches for the AC unit, which I took out. So I'm going to just cover this with a piece of plywood and then paint it the same color of the cabinets. I think it'll just kind of blend in and look good. If that does not work out, my plan is to wrap the shiplap around the corner. But let's first try painting it, because that would be the easiest project. So, there are a couple of screws that are sticking out, so I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool to cut those off to get a nice flush surface. So let's get started. Greatest piece of plywood ever. I just used scraps left over from when I was doing the ceiling, so I'm just kind of going over any cracks or imperfections with this Dynex flexible sandable spackling again. I think it'll just give it a nice smooth finish once it's dried and I sand it all. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's move on to sanding the cabinet bases and faces. Okay, so I have now sanded all the cabinets and wiped them down with the TSP, so it's time to start primering. Here we go. gripper. After I finished priming all of the cabinetry throughout the RV, I went back to the paint store with the leftover primer and had them tint it a dark blue color so that I wouldn't have to put so many layers of the dark blue on the base cabinets. This helped with the color saturation, so I just wouldn't have to put so many layers on. put a second coat of primer on all the cabinetry. I'm going to go ahead and do a light, quick sanding with some 220 grit sandpaper. This is just to kind of remove any bumps or brush strokes from all the cabinetry. And then I'll go ahead and use my regular paint to do a final coat of the actual color. So let's get started. The second coat of primer and then wiped all of it down with a damp rag, it is time to do the final coat of paint. I'm using this Sherwin-Williams enamel paint that was made for cabinetry. I'm going to do a quick coat using an angle brush and a foam roller to smooth down all of the brush strokes. So let's get started. finished painting all the base cabinets in the kitchen, I'm going to go ahead and reattach all of the hinges and put the doors back on so I can just kind of see how everything's going to look. I had purchased some knobs from Amazon, and you'll find the link in the description here. They're actually really neat. They're gold and like a modern style, so I think it's really going to add a little glitter and sass to the kitchen. So let's get started. After a quick look at all of the hinges that came with the cabinetry originally, I decided to hit it with a coat of spray paint really quick. I wanted them to kind of match the hardware that I had ordered a little bit better, so I spread them out and hit them with a coat of spray paint, and then after they dried, went ahead and started attaching them to the painted cabinet faces. To be honest, I accidentally forgot to take any video of the finished product of the kitchen cabinet paint job. This project had taken a lot longer than anticipated. I had actually started doing it while I was waiting for an electrician to come out when the ceilings were not installed to kind of diagnose the electrical issue. So by the time I actually got finished painting all the cabinetry, I was a little bit tired of recording all the footage, especially when it felt like it was all the same, just me painting. And obviously by the length of this video, which is turning out to be like 35 minutes, there is a lot of painting going on. Painting and sanding, shall I say. I also was a little frustrated because the first go around of the upper white cabinets, the faces, did not turn out so well, so I ended up having to sand them all down and practically start all over again. Even for a minute there, I had contemplated going with a shabby chic look so that I wouldn't have to do more coats of paint, which has actually caused me to end up having to go buy more of the white enamel so that I could do the master bedroom later. So here is my finished kitchen. I'm actually really happy with it. I love the color. And the next video will be me doing the backsplash and the crown molding throughout the RV before I could actually put the upper cabinet faces on. So please follow me on Instagram and Facebook and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.